In this video, we'll be talking about the pins.h file, which deals with assigning some default values to your inputs and outputs, or rather, assigning the numbers of your inputs and your outputs to some sort of a variable name that you can later use in your PLCs or in your XML editing. And to illustrate why this might be useful, let's say we have some sort of an output, let's say output 10, that would like to turn on and off within a number of our PLC procedures. This can be something, let's say, like a mist operation. This could be your oil. If you're using plasma, this might be a plasma output. It may be whatever you want it to be. The point is that we have an input or an output which is used in a number of different PLC procedures. So let's say you have a port set command here, a port set command here, etc., etc., etc. So this is all well and good, and the port set 10 command will turn on output 10 every time. However, when, let's say, you'd like to change your wiring a little bit and maybe make this output 11, you will have to go through every PLC procedure and every XML file to edit this. And this becomes cumbersome quite quickly, because sometimes you will miss a line here and there and then spend a lot of time debugging what the problem is. So to avoid this, we have a pins.h file which has some definitions for your inputs and outputs. So instead of this port set 10, for example, you would be using something like a port set output oil or port set output mist, which in turn points to an output or an input, which is defined in this pins.h file. And then once you have to rewire your machine, for example, you can simply change this one value here, and the new settings will be automatically updated. So to show why this is useful, I have created an LED button on the main screen right here. This is not an XML editing exercise, so we'll keep it basic here. I simply have an LED element, which is located on the main screen, and it points to an output with a number output test pin. So this is not a number in a typical sense like number 12, number 14, etc. The number here is a name, and this name is defined in my pins.h file already. Right here, my output test pin is my output 12. So now, let's say when I go back to the main screen and I toggle this output 12 through any method, I can see that it also comes on here. I turn it off, and if, let's say, I also have a hardware PLC which has a port set command with an output test pin, we also expect this to turn it on. An important note, however, if you're writing out a PLC procedure, be that a hardware or a software PLC, is that you should always include this pins.h file in your code. So this is a hashtag include pins.h, so this value will be pointing to this particular output right here. So once you have inserted this include statement and you have written out your program, you can simply launch your PLC, for example, M92, and have the port go on here. So I hope this covers the basics of the pins.h file. You will come across these define statements all the time in your profile, be it in your plasma cutting profile or in your mill or tangential cutting profile. And this is a very useful tool and a one-stop for changing and modifying your inputs and outputs. And this is a common stumbling block for beginners who are trying to locate where they can actually edit the inputs and outputs for their profile. Thank you for watching. If you require any more information on the pins.h file, the hardware or software PLCs, or XML editing, you can visit our documentation at docs.pbautomation.com.